All right, guys, I am back and we are gonna mess around with paintbrushes. I did all I did is I painted these with white gesso. So now we're going to this is just kind of the prototype that I made. We're going to make them in vintage style. But just a warning, I'm gonna be kind of skipping in and out on you a little bit, like pauses and starts, because of dry times. So yeah, let's just kind of get started. And this is going to be kind of probably a couple of video process. And now there it is right in front of my face. I'm working with a little bit of water and some of my inks, and I just spilt it everywhere. How about that? What a good way to start out the video, huh? So yeah, like I said, we're going to just play around, and these first ones in this is going to be a little bit different than the ones that we're doing a little bit later. So I'm going to put, this is more like for a vintage type. And then, I was thinking, sorry, I got a little sidetracked there mentally. Then the other ones are going to be completely like fun. Not necessarily, I mean, they go great for kids. Don't get me wrong there, but, they'll be more fun, like, kiddish, I guess, maybe. Okay, so what I'm doing is I have this brush, and I don't know if these are popular anymore, but they used to be used like in ceramics for dry brushes. So I did wet it a little bit because I want the brush a little bit stiffer, and I'm going to mix my dioxides with water, which I think you've probably seen loads and loads and loads and loads of creators do it like this. And I'm just going to kind of brush in kind of all over with my different colors. That's kind of how I did the last one. And then, because it's supposed to be like a mixed media thing. And then I took and just kind of dabbed in areas to kind of just layer in some paint, okay? And don't forget to do your backs, because then once you get all done, then you're gonna be like, oh no, I forgot the back, like I did a few times. So yeah, the pink one I can't decide. This is actually for a swap that I'm doing in one of the Facebook groups. And I liked the other one, but then it said, and I may be overthinking it. It was basically saying that they wanted Christmas theme. And then it was like, well, that's not really Christmas theme. The vintage one I made isn't precisely Christmas theme. So I don't know. I don't know if that one will work. I guess I'm going to make a couple, and what I don't end up sending her, the ones I don't, or I shouldn't say ones, I should just say the ones I don't sell her, and the ones I'm not giving as gifts, I'll go ahead and list in the shop. If anybody's interested in them, or you can claim them now. I do that on occasion too. So yeah, like I said, I'm just throwing in some Christmassy colors. Maybe I want a little darker. And I used on the last one, if anybody's interested, I did use the actual dioxide sprays in cotton candy. No, not cotton. Spun sugar, tea dye, Victorian velvet, and vintage photo. And I have no idea how this one's going to turn out. So I don't know how quick these will be, but they're definitely easy. Especially like the next ones that we're going to do. And you'll be able to kind of tell that once we get to that point. know if I'm like totally in love with this one yet, but go through the process, right? It's all a process, right? Like I said, I'm just kind of doing some different colors, and I'm not actually really kind of cleaning out my brush as I'm going. I probably should, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if I'm crazy about the colors yet. All right, I'm gonna let that one dry just a little bit, and we might add more to it. I think I'm gonna go, I have these sprays. Again, this one is like the barn door, and I think the red that I just used was candied apple. And I do have another red barn door in like the ink, distress ink, but this one is the oxide. I think I like the chalkier feel for these, so I've never actually used this one, so this will be interesting. Maybe. You guys totally signed up to watch me. Oh, wait a minute. I guess maybe I have used it. Totally just ignore me. It might be a turn your volume down kind of day. And it's a get your hands messy kind of day, for sure. For sure. Okay. Let's just try these on for size. See if these spread just a little bit better. Ooh, that's really orange. I don't know though. Does it look more vintagey to you guys? Or a vintage red? Because we are going for vintage red. So I guess in theory, I'm kind of just using it as a stain. So I hope everybody's Thanksgiving went well. We didn't do a whole lot. Had some friends over. That was fun. Yeah, that was a whole lot of fun. I think what I like most about using these dioxide things is they do tend to, it doesn't look great until like the finished like the ending, if you will. Ooh, and this brush is so old. Oops. And my red and green blended. All right. That's just great. Ooh, that doesn't look yummy, does it? Ugh. Go with it though, right? Might end up being our most favorite one, right? Sometimes that's the way it goes. Not always, but sometimes. Don't really like that green on this project anyways. All right, now I'm gonna go back in with the red a little bit. Take some of that out. Yeah, I'm not crazy about that green. It's more yellow once it gets on this wood and the white paint. So maybe we just take our green Lucky Clover. Just get a little bit more there. It's all trial and error. Oh, that's interesting. Hey, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm wasting ink. How about you? Yeah, that's better. No, not getting the result I want. All right. Again, trust the process, right? Because I think ultimately I would just like it to be picking up the hues of those colors. If that makes any sense. And it might once we get kind of a little further through. Okay, I'm going to call that good for the colors. Where did that? Okay. So then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my modeling paste, and it's just the one you can get at Hobby Lobby. It's Nature's Touch. Yeah, use a coupon on it though. And this stuff does last forever. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my stencil on top here. The water out of the way. I'm going to hold it down. I'm going to go in, put a layer on top. Now I did come down onto the metal a little bit, just in case like our laces and stuff aren't hitting it. Like so. Did I get it? Yep, I did. I always tend to get it up underneath my thing there. So I make sure that this is cleaned up, and then I'm just going to knock down the stuff on the very edge here from my stencil. Just down like that. Kind of blend it down in there. Okay, so this is the part where I need to pause the video, and then I'll be back when these are dry. 15-20 minutes. I mean, you guys won't notice it because you're on video. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and wash my stencil and then do this one, and then I'll be back. All right, be right back, guys. Okay, guys, I went ahead after it was dried and kind of did this one just to see if what I was doing was gonna work. So I brought this along. It's metallic luster, but as you can tell, mine is dried out. So I gave it a little bit of water. Pretty sure that's not what you do to bring it back, but I do kind of like the effect that it's giving. So we'll go ahead and do this one. And I did give it just a little bit, like I said, of water. And now I'm going to kind of dry brush. And you want to take as much of the color out as possible before you start doing this. So I'm going to go down in between these lines, and I'm just putting a little bit of green down in there. Okay, just a little. Some areas I may go just a little bit darker to kind of really kind of pull in the green. Okay, and these are kind of turning out more of like a grungy kind, and I think I'm all right with that. I think ultimately they will end up being pretty close to what I had envisioned. Okay, then, sorry, I'm concentrating quite a bit, so I apologize if I get really kind of off, not really talkative, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Now I'm just kind of taking it all over, darker in some areas, lighter in others. Just kind of make a mess, right? Yeah, it's all starting to get gummy now. So I have to add a little bit more water to it. Excuse me. I just ate some leftovers. I'm not generally a big fan of green bean casserole, but this year I've eaten almost the entirety of what was fixed, what I fixed yesterday. So that's kind of odd for me. Okay, then I'm taking my metallic bright red. And I think I said a few weeks ago that I thought I had some, but I couldn't find it. Well, finally found it. Totally not where it should have been. Okay, and I'm gonna do the same exact thing with the red. Kind of just go in there over the top of some of this. Like I said, see, it's starting to kind of turn it a little grungy. That's okay. We're just looking for some highlight of the Christmas colors. Yeah, it kind of tends to turn a little more purpley. And then I'm going to take my finger in there and kind of really bring in some red with my finger. It's not mixing on the brush. Right around this here. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and take my finger in this, hopefully. Yeah, it's really starting to dry out. Maybe if I take this out of the thing, maybe I can use the underneath side. Like I said, I soaked it a little bit. If I flip it over. Yeah, definitely don't suggest it. It is messy stuff, like when it dries out and you try to fix it. Still pretty, but pretty messy. Okay, again, I'm just going to kind of take the darker green in there, kind of highlight the different areas. Use my finger tool. Just kind of catching some of those edges. Down into there. Okay, kind of looks weird, right? Well, then let me grab my wet wipe here and get these fingers kind of cleaned up so I'm not transferring colors. Sorry. But the cleanup's important, I think, with your fingers, just because you don't want that transfer of color. Okay, now what I'm going to take is this Opal Magic, okay? And I'm going to use my finger tool again. And I'm going to go all over it. On the sides, everywhere. And what this does, and I know the camera will never pick it up, but it basically dampens the colors down a little bit, and then it pulls and shimmers those extra colors. And I put it everywhere and pretty liberally. Because like I said, it just pulls in those shimmers. The opal kind of catches all the colors in it. Okay. That's it for that one. If you guys are contemplating this one and you want like a light kind of iridescent-y look, I do suggest that color. The ones I use the most is this Opal Magic and this Vintage Gold. Definitely, definitely worth every penny. Okay, now I'm got quite a bit on my finger actually. I'm going to tamp it down just a little. Not really take it off my finger, just tamp it down. Okay, now I'm going to run it over the top of everything again too. Just getting pretty much what we, the pieces that we used, or the stenciling, okay? That's all I'm catching with the gold, or trying to anyways. Sometimes you're not going to get just that. On occasion, you're going to get it down in the crevices, and that's okay. Just adds character, in my opinion. Okay, I'm going to go back through and kind of highlight the edges too. Just add a little here, a little there. Add a little bit of gold sparkle down here on the brush part. Okay. Because we want it to kind of look old, and I'm hoping that that's the effect I'm getting. It's one of those decorations that have just been around forever, right? Tarnished, that sort of thing. Okay. All right, I'm going to call it good for that one. And since I already did the other one, I'm going to go ahead and start decorating that one with you now. I don't know, this might end up being a longer video than I originally intended it to be, but that's okay, right? We're just creating. It's the weekend, right? I'm just going to kind of close those off, set them up out of the way. Still to hand if we need them. Okay, so I brought one of these, which is my favorite doilies. I'm going to cut it in half, and we're just going to start layering. And of course I'm probably going to have to trim off the edges, but I don't want to do anything just yet on that score yet. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to mop up the rest of that water and get that cap out of the way. I'm foreseeing a bad accident. All right. Got some of this, and I believe this came from Susie. So I'll use some of that. Kind of like something hangy downy. Can't remember what I used on the other one for the hangy downy part. Oh, it was kind of like a something I don't have over here anymore, apparently. All right, I think, you know what? I'm kind of all over the place, and I apologize for that, guys. I'm all over the place, mostly because, well, it's me. And that's how I roll a lot, you know that. So I actually am just going to start with my beads, because I do know that I want that again. So I'm just going to glue. I'm using hot glue for these. And I use a silicone spatula to kind of move things around or hold it down if I need to. Let's get these out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and glue up here at this top piece, and I'll glue on the back just to kind of secure it, but I think that's how I want it up here. And I think we're going to need a glue stick, another one in this thing. I'm not really all that fond of that glue gun. Okay. Yeah, it's not been a really great one. Okay, so where were we? Back to this, okay. I think I do like those on there. Not necessarily for the flower factor, but I like the poof that it gives behind everything. See, like on this one, I used one, but instead of using it as part of like the flower part, I just used it as fluffy, okay? All right, I think I'm trying to decide which one this one's going to be, because I have some white feathers, and these I got at the dollar store. It's one of those kid boas. It works perfectly for this kind of thing. For vintagey and shabby chic stuff. I got a white one and a pink one. And you can just pop them in there. Gives a little bit of layering. And nobody's the wiser that you didn't spend $4 or $5 on a feather packet. Which is usually, I mean, for a small packet at any of the other retailers is pretty spendy. Okay. Move that up just a little tad. Okay. And I think this might be the one we're going for this one. Okay. I think I do want a little bit more lace pieces. I like how the shimmer of the one I just had in my hand. Oh, right there. The camera probably won't pick it up, but I do like, this has a little bit of shimmer. So I do really like that in this piece, like for this project. That shimmer really does pick up. So I think I might put that up there. Yeah, and then I'll cut off another little piece and put it down at the bottom. Oh boy, trying to figure out how to cut these sometimes can be a chore all on its own. Okay, now we're going to want to pull some gold in here. So I have these. If I can get it apart. And I know I promised a picture of those projects we worked on last weekend. I know I promised it, but I'm still not done with them. So, yeah, I will probably by the end of this weekend, because I don't plan to do too much as far as, because it's Friday when I'm recording these for this weekend. And so I plan to kind of just take it easy this weekend. I haven't really had a take it easy kind of weekend, so I think I'm just going to veg in front of the TV and watch as much Hallmark as I possibly can. Paul's not laying over this week, so that will, okay, I like that. I like that layering. I like the way it looks. Yeah, okay, we're going to call that good, and we're just going to just start laying down this stuff. Okay. Like I said, I will probably end up trimming this part off, so no worries on that score. Get my glue stick. Almost out of them, which I think I still have some in a drawer, but somewhere. Just gonna kind of pop some glue beads down in there. Oh, so I was telling you about this glue gun. Yeah, I'm not crazy about it. Not crazy one bit. Okay, glue this one down in there. This down in there. And yes, I know I haven't pushed anything down yet. I will in just a second with my little spatula. Actually, one of these has to move. Okay, apparently I wasn't paying close enough attention there. Okay, that'll work. Okay, I'm gonna kind of do Okay, now is where, since I'm using a really hot temp glue gun, I got a little bit of time to smush it down. The lower temps, you kind of have to work much quicker, but the hotter ones, though more dangerous, does afford you a little bit more time in that aspect. Okay. Okay. Now we need a bow. For the top, we'll let this set for a minute. Let that cool. And then I have a couple extra pieces, I think, of that sari silk that was like kind of weird to put on a journal because it wasn't really sturdy. Okay, give me a second. I'm going to put you on pause for just a sec while I go grab that. Okay, guys, I ended up not finding those other little chunks, so we're just going to finish it up this way. And I'm just going to take, I got a little bit of that filling in there, so I'm just going to take it and take it out. All right, so the other piece wasn't too awful long. So I'm going to show you how I did it, and it doesn't necessarily mean that's how you have to do it. It's just kind of what I did. Okay, so I kind of peeked it like so I could get it through the little hole. And I am going to use my pokey tool to kind of get it on through. Just so it pokes out there a little bit. Hold it through. Brought this up. Kind of fed it through. So, and then I went ahead and pulled that circle back in this direction. Pulled those, one on each side, I should say, of your thing, like divide it in half, like I should have in the beginning, just like that. Pull it tight on both sides. If you have to, kind of pull these portions through to get that front loop kind of tight, and then go ahead and snug it down. You'll have to work with it a little bit. Okay, and then I just tied a bow. Like so. Apparently I have fiddly finger problems today. I just pulled it tight and then kind of arranged the bow down a little bit. And I can never do bows on camera, so I think we all kind of have an issue somewhere. Tying bows on camera is an issue for me. Okay, then what I did is I took a little bit of my hot glue and secured it up there. Like so. And then I'll go ahead and clip those ends down just a little bit. Like that. Okay. And there we have a vintage shabby chic-y looking little ornament, I guess, is since I've never made them, I don't actually know what they're for. I mean, I would assume that you would put them on a tree or set them maybe on a mantle. But yeah, I don't know if the camera will pick up the slight little shimmers down in there, but it looks very pretty in my opinion. All right, and I think we're kind of out of time, so I'm gonna go ahead and decorate this one off camera, and then when we come back, I will show you the really fun ones I have with the rest of them planned for that. So yeah, all right guys, I will talk to you soon. Bye.